Understanding the source of true happiness. Happiness is not a fleeting moment of pleasure or a temporary emotional spike. It is a deep inner state, a frequency you learn to generate independent of external conditions. Most people spend their lives chasing happiness through achievements, relationships, or material gains, only to discover that these things cannot sustain a lasting sense of joy. True happiness emerges when you awaken to the realization that everything you seek is already within you. It grows from the energy you cultivate, the thoughts you entertain, and the emotions you choose to nourish. When you understand that happiness is not given, it is generated, you reclaim the power that has always been yours. This shift begins with awareness. When you become conscious of your internal dialogue, your habitual emotions, and your automatic reactions, you start to see how often you stand in the way of your own joy. You begin to notice the conditions you've tied to your happiness, conditions that keep you waiting for life to change before you allow yourself to feel good. Breaking these conditions is the first step toward true freedom. Happiness becomes possible the moment you decide that your internal state matters more than external validation or circumstances. When you own this truth, you awaken to the unlimited source of happiness that lives within you. Reprogramming your emotional blueprint. Every person carries an emotional blueprint, a pattern of feelings they've rehearsed so often it becomes familiar, even automatic. If you've practiced stress, worry, frustration, or disappointment for years, your body has memorized those states. But this does not mean you are stuck with them. You have the capacity to reprogram your emotional blueprint, to teach your mind and body new ways of experiencing life. Reprogramming begins by interrupting the old emotional patterns. The moment a negative emotion rises, you choose to step back and observe rather than react. You give yourself permission to choose a new feeling, gratitude instead of irritation, peace instead of anxiety, joy instead of discouragement. Each time you make this shift, you create new neural connections, wiring your brain for happiness. You also produce new chemical signals that teach your body what joy feels like. Over time, joy becomes the familiar state. You no longer have to chase happiness because it becomes your emotional home. This is how transformation happens, one intentional feeling at a time, releasing emotional blocks that limit joy. A joyful life cannot grow in a heart crowded by old pain, resentment, or emotional heaviness. Many people carry invisible burdens, past disappointments, wounds that were never healed, fears that were never expressed. These emotional blocks act like energetic anchors, keeping you rooted in old versions of yourself. They pull you back into the past and prevent you from experiencing the fullness of the present moment. Finding happiness requires releasing these blocks with compassion and awareness. It means allowing yourself to feel, process, and let go of the emotions that have held you captive. You release the need to replay old stories, and you stop identifying with the pain that once shaped you. This release is not an act of weakness, it is an act of liberation. It creates space for new energy, new emotions, and new possibilities. When you no longer carry the weight of yesterday, you open the door for joy to rise naturally within you. Happiness flows when you become emotionally unburdened, free, and receptive to life again. Connecting with the heart's intelligence. The heart is the center of your emotional wisdom, and it holds the most powerful keys to joy and happiness. When you live disconnected from your heart, you become lost in the noise of the mind, overthinking, analyzing, worrying, controlling. The mind alone cannot lead you to joy. The heart must be part of the journey. The heart communicates through elevated emotions, love, appreciation, kindness, compassion, patience. When you intentionally activate these emotions, you create coherence within your whole being. This coherence brings your mind and body into harmony. It reduces stress, strengthens intuition, and elevates your emotional state. You feel clearer, calmer, and more connected. Happiness is natural when the heart is open and engaged. By taking moments each day to breathe into your heart, express gratitude, or offer kindness, you tune yourself to a higher emotional frequency. You begin to radiate joy from within, and this energy becomes contagious. When your heart is alive, your life comes alive, becoming the source, not the seeker. Most people spend their lives waiting for happiness to find them. They wait for perfect circumstances, perfect timing, perfect opportunities. But joy does not arrive from the outside, it radiates from within. When you stop seeking happiness and become the source of it, your entire life transforms. You shift from dependency to empowerment. You shift from reactivity to creativity. You shift from waiting to generating. Becoming the source means choosing your emotional state before the world gives you a reason to feel that way. It means waking up and deciding to live in gratitude, even if nothing has changed yet. It means choosing to feel worthy, inspired, joyful, and abundant, even if your circumstances are still catching up. This is how you create momentum. The energy you broadcast becomes the energy you attract. When you become the source of joy, you walk through life with a different vibration, one that lifts others, inspires possibilities, and brings you into alignment with the experiences you desire most. Daily habits that nurture happiness. Happiness thrives when supported by consistent, intentional habits. These habits act as the foundation for your emotional well being. Meditation, mindful breathing, and gratitude practices help you center your awareness and elevate your emotional state. Journaling allows you to release stored emotions and gain clarity. Acts of kindness stimulate joy in both the giver and the receiver. Positive self talk rewires the subconscious mind for confidence and peace. Surrounding yourself with uplifting people, engaging in purposeful activities, and creating space for rest and reflection also strengthen your inner foundation. Even small choices, choosing nourishing food, moving your body, limiting negativity in your environment, support your emotional health. Happiness becomes sustainable when your daily habits align with the energy you want to live in. It is not about perfection, it is about consistency. Small, intentional actions create powerful internal shifts that compound into long term joy. Sharing your joy with the world. Happiness becomes even more powerful when it is shared. Joy is not meant to be contained, it is meant to be expanded, expressed, and offered to others. When you spread joy, you elevate not only your own energy, but also the energy of those around you. A single smile, a kind word, a moment of presence, or a gesture of compassion can shift someone's entire day. The energy you radiate influences others in ways you cannot measure. Sharing joy is not about grand gestures. It is about living in such alignment with your authentic happiness that others feel uplifted simply by being around you. Your presence becomes a reminder of what is possible. Your energy becomes an invitation for others to rise. When you become a carrier of joy, you become part of something greater, a ripple of positivity that extends beyond your life and into the world. This is how joy spreads. This is how lives change. And this is how happiness becomes a movement rather than a moment. Happiness is not a destination you arrive at someday. It is a state you cultivate from within, moment by moment, choice by choice. As you move forward from this journey, remember that joy does not depend on ideal circumstances, perfect timing, or external approval. It grows from the energy you nurture inside your heart and the awareness you bring to each day. When you release the weight of old emotions, when you rewire your mind for elevated states, when you reconnect with the intelligence of your heart, you step into a life where joy is not occasional, it is intentional. You have the power to become the source of happiness, not the seeker. You have the ability to choose the emotions that shape your experiences. And when you choose joy, you radiate an energy that transforms not only your life, but also the lives of those around you. Spreading joy becomes an act of leadership, of compassion, of awakening. It becomes your gift to the world. Carry this awareness with you. Live it. Embody it. And let your happiness ripple outward, touching every space you enter, reminding others of the joy that also lives within them.